All right, Bob. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go back into the week where I recorded my review for X-Men First Class. I need to alter the timeline and try to put my review for X-Men Days of Future Past in replacement for X-Men First Class. Let's do this. Now, this process is going to hurt because once I expose myself to some pain, my soul should be able to float up through that portal and I should go back to the proper time. Let's do this. You might want to cover your ears. This is going to hurt. It's gone. It's gone. Oh my God. It worked. It actually freaking worked. Ugh. Oh my God. We're actually in the 70s. Before I find the professor, I gotta get some clothes. Well, not the professor, but at least a place to record. This looks like how it is in the past, but no one's here. I gotta get some clothes. Well, shoot, I didn't know we were in Orleans. New Orleans, what is this, Mardi Gras? Now I gotta find the location. This is it right here. Chair, wall, platform. Yeah, this is it, Bob. Okay. Here we are. Now let's do this. Oh yeah, to all the YouTubers and Instagrammers, welcome to the past, to 1973. I'm here from the future, 2020, 2013. Wolverine from 2013. Not the Wolverine, but the Wolverine character from 2013. Sent back by Charles Xavier to record my review on X-Men Days of Future Past in the placement week that X-Men First Class was posted here on Sterling on Cinemas. And speaking of which, Sterling, we got a message from Sterling. He has a little bit of incentives to all those who might not think his channel was that interesting. To the first 500 bubs who subscribe to his channel, doesn't matter who, you will win a Fire Stick 4K. If you have a 4K TV or know anybody who owns a 4K TV in the future, you can do whatever it takes to win this prize. All you have to do is rate whatever movie give your rating on whatever movie he is talking about and give your all-time favorite movie in the comics. Two things. To the next 500 people who subscribe, bub. You do those two things and you will be the first to win this back in 2013. There's a man named Dr. Bolivar Trask who's convinced that mutants pose a threat to humanity. So he develops this program called the Sentinels program, an enormous army of robotic weapons that can detect any mutant gene and zero in on that person. In the 21st century, 2013, the Sentinels have become worse. They have become these highly evolved, efficient killing machines. With mutants now facing extinction, I, Wolverine, volunteered to go back into time, to your time, 1973, and rally up the X-Men from the past to change a pivotal moment in history and thereby save my future and restore the entire timeline and pretend that Sterling still never had a short amount of subscribers. Want to hear my take on the story, bub? You got it. So, X-Men Days of Future Past is not one that had me intrigued until a certain point of the movie. But considering that this is my second time watching it, I was only able to grasp so much and try to enjoy it at the same time. After watching it, I realized what makes X-Men Days of Future Past so unique is how it synthesizes the events of the original trilogy to everything that would happen in this movie, while also being the antithesis for the rest of the story taking place in the early days of the X-Men team that Sterling just got to in this playlist. Long story short, X-Men Days of Future Past would be like the X-Men 4 for the original trilogy and a midpoint between First Class and Apocalypse for the Young X-Men trilogy. As far as the plot is concerned, it sounds more ambitious in the script than it does when it plays out on the big screen. Most of Days of Future Past stays true to the iconic X-Men storyline of the same name, with some things that played out differently, like who went back in time, because it wasn't me, Bob, and what they are trying to change in history. In the comics, we see Kitty Pryde be the one who goes back in time and actually trying to prevent the assassination of Senator Robert Kelly, who we had already seen in the original X-Men film. The Sentinels happened to kill more than just mutants. That's right. They even killed the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, making this comic a lot more darker and a lot more tragic than how it plays out on film. The comic book also looks into the same future date of 2013, which I'm from the future, and it's not all that futuristic, y'all. With some of the same surviving mutants like I, Storm, Kitty Pryde, and Colossus, Peter Rasputin, along with Magneto, who is ironically the sucker in a wheelchair. We see the same survivors here in a very accurate situation. And now they must prevent the death of the man responsible for creating, not cheating, but cheating his way into creating the Sentinels in the first place. They do that, and the world would turn out to be a better place, unlike the comics. Again, the live-action adaptation of the ambitious X-Men story has higher stakes in the comics and sounds more intense on screen. But trying to fathom what took place and how it plays out sounds more exciting than some parts of the movie. And I only said some, Bob. Now, on the flip side of the characters, let me show you what we got here. Days of Future Past gives every X-Man, young and old, past and future, a very vital role, to the point where you are hooked to every mutant you see instead of just your favorites, combining Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, the original X-Men ensemble cast, and the ensemble from the Young X-Men series was enough to excite and get people eager to see what was going to happen. As stated before, the current X-Men of 2013, where I'm from, are fighting for their lives against a more advanced array of the same Sentinels that were developed in your time by Bolivar Trask. This team is also sporting some new members like Sunspot, who you will later see in New Mutants, Bishop, Warpath, and Blink, along with fan favorites we already know like Shadowcat, that's Kitty Pryde, Iceman, Bobby Drake, Rogue, Marie, Charles Xavier, and Magneto. The younger version of the X-Men from the 60s and 70s, who was not dead at the time, has McAvoy's Charles Xavier, Fassbender's Magneto, along with Nicholas Holt's Beast, such a geek, and newcomer Quicksilver, Piotr Maximoff. Now we must address the elephant in the room that is the center of the whole plot and is crucial to the inevitable fix of the future. Raven Darkholme, aka Mystique, the one who can change into anybody. Jennifer Lawrence's Mystique plays a significant role into exactly how Sentinels would be the one to evolve into genetically enhanced Terminators that can redistribute any mutation to its own will, including mine. This goes to show how much potential Trask saw inside of Raven, even if he was using it for evil intentions. This is the same reason why everybody will see her as a hero in the next picture. Days of Future Past also shows us that because the X-Men are still Marvel characters, we can still have struggles outside of just discrimination, bub. This, which is where we see Charles Xavier for the first time during 1973. This is the only time we would see this character in a pit of depression, and there are big repercussions. He would decide to sacrifice his psychic powers for leg powers. That's a new power. He cannot have one if the other one is in play. If he can walk, he cannot use his telepathy. If his telepathy is at play, you'll find Chuck in a wheelchair. With Magneto being an ally in 2013, this would have made me a little more optimistic to seek him out in the past, but Magneto will always have his own predictable plans. Aside from all the events that take place, the breakout star is arguably Pietro Maximoff. He would go on in this trilogy to be such an amazing player for the X-Men, both bringing the speed of laughter and lighthearted, and the speed of light and lighthearted laughter. Now, Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 91% as of right now. And where I'm at. X-Men Days of Future Past absolutely is absolutely the best written film in the whole series, with the usage of time travel, which might be combatively competitive with Avengers Endgame, and how much it parallels to the source material. So I say this bub right here deserves 8.3 Essels out of 10. So that is my review, coming to you from the past on X-Men Days of Future Past. You can let me know. You can follow the instructions like you mentioned earlier. You can let them know what you think in the comments below. Give us your rating and tell us what your all-time favorite movie is. And we'll see you next time at the cinemas, bub. Now I gotta go back. Bad dream, bub.